Greetings, greetings, everyone. Woo! Hey, everything is moving very rapidly forward to the 5D. So I chose, let's have a quick look at really how rapidly it is transitioning. So out of the doom and the gloom, what is rising is so many. And it is the whole process. It is so very beautiful to see it take shape and form and to go forward. So, uh, just today, just a little bit ago, I see a post from the truckers, if you will. Someone posted that they mentioned, the airlines workers walking off, leaving their jobs, and well, the truckers as well, may join this too, and leaving their jobs for any of the companies, that require them uh, to be coerced, if you will, into giving up their rights. Um, so, having said this, if we just look at the airlines for a few moments, what you are seeing is the Freedom Airlines, which is expanding very quickly. And as a result of what's been transpiring in the airline industry, more notably the last few weeks or even several weeks, what we are seeing is many are leaving uh, their jobs. And what you have, though, on the other side of that, so they're leaving their jobs from the old. However, over here, you have an entity, Freedom Airlines, that is forming and taking shape. And to my knowledge, you have perhaps more planes, more crews are joining with that. So the unvaccinated ones, if you will, and Freedom Airlines, where you need no tests or any of this. So what you see is the creation of the new. So Freedom Airlines is an example of the new building. The people are uniting and taking action to create the new pieces of society. So we see the truckers as well, and this, what I speak about, is actual, it's out there. These are factual material confirmations, this is real. So, truckers, airline workers, doctors, and nurses in areas. They also are exiting, as many of you might have seen references to that. Police, that's been pretty widespread and it's growing. So you see the police leaving the old employment and know they must step away. Military. You see small stores, family-owned businesses, how they have separated from the old and are still in process of it. Even public schools, you're seeing children being, let's say, taken away by their parents out of the public schools. You're also seeing in universities, perhaps some students just leaving that, as well as professors. So, the list goes on, but the beauty of this, you see them all exiting the old system. Now, they need to go somewhere. So, what they're doing when they exit, they are actually beginning to unite and create new unities and places of joining with others to look for the solutions for the new reality. So you're seeing a great split in society. And, this is so, for the 5D where we wish to go, it's so beautiful to see the construction of the 5D happening and to watch the many violations by the governments are actually facilitating and expediting the process for the new. And again, at this point, it is, as we know, totally blatant that what the governments have done by coercing ones into the vaccines is they have also discriminated against, I like to say, the majority of the people upon the planet. And in this day and age, if you will, looking at it from the 4D perspective, discrimination does not go forward, meaning that the perpetrators of the discrimination, the doctors, the governments, and politicians, they cannot go forward. So they have, with what has recently transpired, uh, they cannot go any further with this. So everything is divinely set up to construct the new. And the rights is one of the biggest divine reasons. Let me check. Is this working? I'm just going to. Can someone let me know if this is not breaking up? Someone that was here since I just began about 7 minutes ago. How is this working? If someone can just put it in the comments, thank you. It's working fine then. Okay, thank you. So, the beauty of this is yes, 5D is occurring and you're witnessing the transitioning of it now. So, as the awakened ones, if you will, are getting displaced out of the old, they are going into a void space where they're beginning to create and look for the direction forward. And so this is it in process, and you're seeing it. And it is, expediting. So it's so beautiful, and I wanted to, say about that and the importance about what I always suggest. Anyone that, if they're intimidated or coerced, in their employment, uh, just say no and just walk away. And on the other side of this, there are so many that are doing the research for you. If you still need money, if you leave one job, there are ones that have compiled lists of places where you can work with others where you don't need vaccinations and passports. And mind you, this is all temporary, because the governments at this time cannot lawfully take anything forward any further, and they never could. So it's only a temporary thing what is occurring as society quickly transitions forward. So anything that the governments have put in place, it contains no merit and it is actually unlawful. And in the moment, it may seem that they have force, but in the very near future, no. And you're going to see all of these governments and politicians and anyone that was part of this collusion, you will see them actually imprisoned. And because divine justice is something that no one upon this planet can escape, and that is assured and ascertained. And we are in a very important divine time upon the planet at ascending humanity and the society forward. So uh, it is divinely assured, and that this does take place. And so this is excellent, what is occurring. And, I also, Femke showed me a clip earlier today, a little bit about European Council, I believe here. I just forget their full name, but they realize it, and they have said themselves, the people have to stand, and the people have to unite and stand together uh, against the governments. But at the same time, as the people are standing, they also need to unite. And yes, with what we have with GPMS, the Global People's Monetary System and Simplified Law, is the new reality. It is the template where we bring humanity in it as they sign to create this voice, as they register to add their voice to it. Then very quickly we change everything in society and we advance humanity forward, uh, placing all of humanity in a complete place of comfort and prosperity and all of the good things. So very rapidly eradicating all of the enslavement system and all of the misery and death and lack that was caused by all of the governments in collusion together. So very in the banks, of course, and the elites. So we erase all of that within blink of an eye. That's how quick we do it. Once we get everyone, on board, uniting, creating the voice, the one huge voice. When you got billions of people all standing in solidarity together, creating this one voice for the one common goal, nothing upon the planet can stop that or stand against it. And, it's why I constantly say, come on, people, stop fighting against the governments in that way to look for your rights. The governments are not going to give your rights to you. You need to claim your rights, and the best way to do that is to unite worldwide with the majority of the people that wishes to activate their rights. So really the solution is so easy. And having said that, yes, it's great to put up a resistance against the government, but don't spend all of your time in your focus putting up that resistance. You need a direction, a place to go. So you need to have at the same time your voice added to all of the people, and the people is the final blow on the old establishment once they are all in one place. So if you are what you would call a protester, a rights activist, a head freedom fighter, whatever it may be, head of a sovereign group, get all of your people together here, with GPMS, and we take everything forward all together for the people. So when you got a huge voice and you slap a couple billion signatures on one paper and put this towards every government on the planet, they cannot go against 2 billion people. And it does not work. It takes all of the power from all of these governments, and the rest that think that the governments have the power, when they see a billion or 2 billion people voice, the other people say, no, the governments don't have the power, nothing can stand against the people. Then the rest trickle with you. So it's so important. The easiest way to do this, to transition the society, is with gathering the voice and all in one place. And the direction is there. We have the new monetary system, and a, let's say, a simple law put in place that is based on absolute divine law. You could even say the rule of law, which the rule of law is based on the individual. It's what all law was foundationed off. Anything that, in reality, that any law that does not take account the first creation of any law, where it begins to be in effect, if they do not consider the foundation, which is the individual, then it is not lawful. And this is why, to simply put it, all governments and legal systems worldwide are not lawful. And also, if you do your quick research, it's why all of your constitutions, that they are just illusions, because they are intertwined with their legal systems, the governments, and with that, your rights are never upheld to any degree. And it's because, again, the governments did not want that. We know that story. We're speaking about going forward. So, we have professionals in every walk of life that are rejecting the old and saying no. Our morals and our ethics will not allow us to do something against our will. And this is the beauty for the new society. So all of those that are walking away, the numbers are raising and raising, but in them is all of the professionals to take humanity forward. So it's all happening currently, as any of you can see. Now I'll look and see, I rambled on for 17 minutes, and I'll see what we have here, any questions in the comments. Don Severado asked, has the GPMS been used by anyone yet to prove it works? Well, one needs to know what the GPMS is. It is the collection of the voice of the majority of the people, or you don't even need that. Once you get, let's say, 1 billion people, then it goes viral. It fans out very quickly that more people wants to join. And the reason why that is because people have the understanding of what it is, that everyone needs to create the voice first. Then the inception of the GPMS, where we create the abundance for everyone and the simplified law and the full harmony. So GPMS doesn't get used until all the people wish to do it and to create it by adding your voice. So it takes everyone to make the choice to do it. Then GPMS is the full comfort. And it needs to be done by the people. This is why all other ventures failed, is because they would try to do, a good intent things, let's say with prosperity funds and what have you, but it's only a small group. And they try to negotiate with the governments and the bankers to do these things. But the governments and bankers, they do not want to give up their world of luxury. Their interest is not for the people. So, and the governments and the bankers had the control of the internet and all of the financial systems. So they're not going to take a prosperity fund and interject that and allow that money to come in because it's contrary to what they are. So the only way for anything ever to be successful that is for the people, it needs all of the people to put their voice together. Then it gets done. So this is one of the reasons, again, why ones can attempt to negotiate with bankers and perhaps try to get things done for the people. But, the true fact is, if the governments really had humanity's best interest in mind, it would have already been done. So the fact that it's not done, it shows you it's not done in the proper way, and it never could get anywhere, because you need the people to support it, to create it. And this is why GPMS is the only way, and it is the ultimate solution. You collect the consent of all of the people that want to have full abundance, full financial freedom, all of this. And you collect them together that choose this, and all of the children, and this is how it gets done. I mean, it's ridiculous for a child to be put into a school, indoctrinated, to become a slave to a system. They began now to go to school in the old system, maybe 3-4 years old. They enter preschool. They are enslaved into that until perhaps 20 years. Then they're into society. It's just absolutely preposterous. So that is all ending. So GPMS is the ultimate way. We need to get the voice out to all of these freedom fighters, all of these ones that are have many followers, all of the truthers. They should be, every one of them, including Trump and the Patriots, should be sharing GPMS. It is the direction for the people. And it is an absolute divine thing. And as I mentioned before, I cannot be killed nor eradicated upon the planet. I am sent here by Father, if you will. I am a divine one. I'm not the only one. There are over, to my knowledge, 4 million of us upon the planet that cannot be killed nor taken out. And this is the guarantee of the divine plan. So I'll say it bluntly again, everyone needs to get on board with this to create the voice and to create this new system for humanity. So, the governments and the darkness, if you will, they know very well what the GPMS is. And it is their biggest nightmare and their biggest threat. So frantically, they've been trying in the past to keep this at bay and keep ones distracted and keep feeding false narratives into a lot of the main truthers, if you will, to keep their focus away and to also make a lot believe that someone else is going to do it for you. And it's not. It takes all of humanity. And I need to say this again. The white knight is all of you. It's all of us together. There is no singular white knight that's going to ride in and save the day. It takes all of you, all of the people. Okay, and Don says, creating something out of thin air is really hard for society to fathom. But with that, Don, what I say is that really money has been created out of thin air always. So it's not hard for society to grasp this. And the U.S., I love them because with Helicopter Ben, if you will, just so notorious at showing the people that no, money is created first. Then there is what you call derivatives or asset backing, which is created later. But you don't need this. That's why the debt in the U.S. is trillions of dollars, because you never have to pay this debt to anyone. You just keep creating money to infinity. So what we're doing is letting the people know that the people have the choice to do the same, but they don't need the asset backing. You are the creators, and you just create money out of thin air when a whole group decides, and it's distributed equally and comfortably for all. So it's just, but what you're saying, Don, you say that's why it's so hard for anyone to believe that it would even work. Um, it is because of the intense indoctrination and conditioning in the Western world. And, they have complicated so many things with it. And, but we are, that conditioning, we are breaking through that ones can see the simplicity of it. And, it's divinely assured in so many levels. And very quickly, we're going towards it. And uh, perhaps, Lori, you say it freezes. It could be freezing and interrupting a bit when I move a lot. Um, but I'll keep going for a bit. And so Dawn says she believes in me and GPMS, and she says it's going to take a lot to convince people. Not really, Dawn, because as I said, as people are seeing more and more of the old destruct, they are awakening very quickly. So, having said that, I see that it's freezing up a bit, you say. However, is it still functioning enough that it's not broken? Can someone answer that for me? The feed that I'm doing here? Thank you. So Mandy Jensen says so many she shared GPMS with refuse to even read it, and they assume it's a great reset. Well, Mandy, it is the great reset for humanity. However, the people are at the helm of this. So, there was the great reset by the governments and the dark agenda, the NWO, but the tables have been flipped on them, and this is the people altogether that does this. And you say so many do not want to hear or feel this. Um, they will very quickly, Mandy, once they see that this is the most sensible choice and it is the door to freedom for all of humanity. And so when they get tired enough of the old, then they'll look this way. And, the old is rapidly um, becoming more and more tiresome and pressure and a lot more pressure for them. So it is occurring. So I'm just so happy we're seeing it, as I said, earlier in the live, where so many are leaving the jobs in the old society and not complying with all the discriminatory measures and all of this. So it's happening and nothing stops it. So yeah, we love to see it happen quicker, but it is guaranteed it does happen. And I'll sit here and again and say within 2 months we can have this. Because, the way that information spreads around the world, uh, once it begins to be spread more and more very quickly, it goes viral. And we're at that level now with the consciousness that I'm beginning to see some movement where they're starting to see what GPMS actually is. You know, there were some come and looked at it, then they go away, but then they come back. But now they're getting ready to look more at it, to understand the simplicity of it. So it is happening. Okay, I'm just looking. So I guess apparently it will be okay. Yeah, we don't wish to have the interruption for sure. I'll look at a couple more questions and I'll shut this down because I don't like to have something intermittent as well. Mandy asks, is there anything else we can be doing in addition to anchoring the 5D grid? Well, uh, one of the big things for everyone to do is to keep absolute positive. Keep the focus on it. We know it's coming, then that keeps everyone aligned with it. Uh, don't have any doubts. I mean, you have the material confirmations out there that you can see in the world everywhere that it is transitioning, so there is no reason whatsoever to doubt it. Have no expectation, I will say, on how long it takes, but do have the anticipation that we do know that, let's say, Christmas is coming, if you will. And so just keep with it, and we keep going forward with that. Empower each other, keep each other happy as you can and as positive, and keep the incentive there with each. And yeah, just do all of the good things that you can do, and with everyone to do this, all together, all of the higher powered co-creators, the more you are all in line with the same goal, same thought, it creates it quicker. You defy uh, physics in reality, if you will, and things get created in a blink of an eye or a flash. Yeah, know your power. There's many of you are so powerful, and over the last several years, actually, you've become stronger and stronger every day. And I see some of the effects of some of your feats. Great feats. Stephen asked, what is my take on the concerns expressed by some members of the European Parliament about the Green Pass? And then Stephen says, because if the pressure lessens, that might keep people more complacent again. Let me say, what has occurred is that even though the pressure may lessen in some countries, or let's say even a European community, ones are looking at um, the entire planet. So what occurs is if all does not lessen, it doesn't work. So a little bit of complacency, yes, it could cause, but we also have the full divine plan that assures that they do not. become complacent. For example, as I mentioned, a 2 week, a 2 week, what would I call it? A 2 week blackout on all the financial banking worldwide would very quickly take ones out of complacency. But not only that, when you're looking at, let's say, the transport even for essential goods and services with the food, when you began to see that being interrupted as well uh, because of individuals, well, no, it keeps going, Rick, or Stephen. Yeah. So, they may try to interject some of these appeasements, but at this point, no longer are the awakened ones going to accept any bones. So it doesn't work that way. So thanks for that. And Beatrice says in Romania, GPMS is not so well understood. What I wish Beatrice or anyone watching this, you know, GPMS, explain, understand it yourself and explain it in your own words, outward to others, because there can be many perspectives. One thing I find is that there are many perspectives and ways to explain it to ones. And, when we have more explaining it other than just one or a couple of us, it goes further into the consciousness to break that gap, what is limiting them. So that's what I suggest everyone, to do that, and to know we are going forward despite what some of you may see or experience in your reality. Jay Lanebaugh, he says, I stepped outside of my house earlier, Rick, to shop, and I was drawn to the night sky. He says, I thought it was a star, but it moved. I saw a mothership with its offspring, let's say, smaller craft whizzing around it. Sightings of our benevolent friends are certainly ramping up now. Yeah, thank you, Jay. Last evening, Femke, on her own, there were several ships around, and afterwards we saw a couple ships as well. And for anyone watching, these are not satellites. These are ships that we have moved. They do different maneuvers and strategic movements. But for us, Femke and I, there is always pretty much one visible ship stationed above us. And also tonight, we're currently in Denmark, and the activity of our galactic comrades, what's assisting the ground crew, it has increased here substantially in the last few weeks as well. And yes, it is very real for any that's watching. The motherships are here. What I will say also, if any's been watching, if you watch the skies every night and what you think is stars, what you should have noticed in the last two or several nights, that a lot of the constellations, let me say, perhaps not the constellations, but a lot of what you thought were stars are in different positions. There are some bright ones there that were not there before, and vice versa. So this lets you know that there is galactic activity. So, well, this is great if we're still rolling. I believe so. But everyone, I'm going to wrap this up, and next time I'll have a much better feed when we do this. So having said this, I thank you all for joining. Society is transitioning into 5D. We've got the very good signs of movement. It's happening. Please don't ask how long it takes, but soon. That's what we keep saying. So everything we do gets us one step closer to it. It is happening. You did not need to do all of your inner work, go through all these trials and tribulations for nothing. There has always been the divine reason for everything that has occurred in your life, and it is to bring you to this now. And we are, let's say, the heaven on earth is right on the doorstep. So as more and more begin to choose it, the quicker it is realized, and the quicker that it is integrated into everyone's reality. So it is here within plain sight, and yeah, we're doing it. So thank you all of you that may be watching this, also that that have many followers and are a teacher somewhat, and giving all the information that you can to guide ones forward. And of course, everyone plays a role, every individual as well. So thank you all. Unity and victory and peace. Winks and kisses and love and light and much gratitude. And have an amazing morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. We got this. It's happening. Woohoo! Thank you. Bye now.